You will never, ever see what there was in their head.
You're calling it violence. It is violence. It's also action. I think it's also kind of what movies do.
Be there, look at their eyes, see the environment around them.
And I'm not a Hollywood basher, because enough good movies come out of the Hollywood system every year to justify its existence. I had a lot cheaper than I would have gone if I'd gone to film school. Did it the way they've always wanted to do it, by keeping all the aspects they liked. All right, that's what I tried to do. Some acting people suggest something to the effect of like, there's a zillion choices out there and any one of them is possible and any one of them is great. I actually don't believe that at all. If you are really in character, you only have a few choices.
How did you come up with this idea of highly stylized violence?
There's all kinds of scenes that I respond to in movies. I respond to music sequences. I respond to big comedy sequences. It was like they galvanized the entire theater. Everybody woke up. Everybody got connected. And and I would go see a film that had a sequence like that. I would see it 2 or 3 times at the theaters just to see that sequence, and then just to have that experience with an audience. So, again, we're talking about, you're calling it violence. It is violence. It's also action. I think it's also kind of what movies do in a way that's particular to them, as opposed to theater or literature, is, the filming of kinetic violence that can usually, that can have different reasons for the impact, but it can oftentimes give a cathartic release for an audience.
Tighter, tighter, tighter.
No, I'll never cut a dialogue scene just for like a running time.
Oh, but just for momentum and rhythm and all that.
Yeah, no. If it's all good, then it's all good, all right,
Don't help them out in that very first reading. Don't tell them how you want the scene. Don't tell them what you're looking for. They've had the material themselves, and they've come up with their own thing. You will never, ever see what there was in their head. An adjustment is the easiest thing in the world to give. And you're the director. They'll do whatever you say, but let them do their first shot at it, what they came up with.
I'm wherever the camera is. If I'm shooting this young lady who's sitting right here with the glasses right there, and we're putting the camera right here, I'm right here. I'm right here, looking right at her, and here we go. And from time to time, I'll ask an actor if it bothers them that I'm there. It almost never bothers them that I'm there. That's what they're doing. They're acting for me. They want me to like it. Every single actor, if it's your cousin who you talked into doing the movie and he's the worst actor in the world, but he's got red hair and you need the guy because he has red hair and he'll do it for free. Or if you're talking about Christoph Waltz, it doesn't matter. If you're right there by the camera, when you say cut, they will all look to you to see what you thought. They're acting for you. They are just acting only for you when you do that. So don't be in another room. Don't be watching TV. You work too hard to be watching TV while the most exciting moment of your life is happening. Be there, look at their eyes, see the environment around them. Fuck the frame for a little bit. You've got the frame. You know what the frame is supposed to be. Okay, see what's outside the frame. But also you're just feeling the drama of the scene. When you watch it on a monitor, you're almost too much an audience member. No, this is the creative part. You're there. It's back and forth. You're part of it. You're part of the electric current.
Steven Spielberg and George Lucas had a love for this cinema growing up, and how they took the parts of it that they liked the best, their favorite parts of it, and they kind of reinvented it and made it work not only for a new audience, but just for an audience that wasn't as familiar with it as they are, and did it the way they've always wanted to do it, by keeping all the aspects they liked. All right, that's what I tried to do with all the grindhouse exploitation cinema that I loved.
What is the secret to Tarantino dialogue?
I just get the characters talking to each other. So it's like me, the writer, is writing it, and yeah, I'm kind of controlling it for a while, but the idea is the conversation catches fire. amongst the characters. And then they take it and run with it. And then I'm almost like a court reporter, jotting it all down.
So in America, we told the story. We're the worst at it now, as far as I'm concerned.
At telling a story.
Telling a story. We don't tell a story, we tell a situation. Most of the movies that you see nowadays, and I'm not a Hollywood basher, because enough good movies come out of the Hollywood system every year to justify its existence, but without any apologies. However, a good majority of movies that come out, all right, you pretty much know everything you're going to see in the movie by the first 10 or 20 minutes. Now that's not a story. A story is something that constantly unfolds. I'm not talking about like this quick left turn or a quick right turn or a big surprise. I'm talking about it unfolds, all right?
Yeah, but you don't believe in a linear storytelling.
Well, it's not. It's not so much I don't believe in it. It's the situation. It's not the fact that I'm like on this big crusade against linear storytelling. All right, but it's the thing is, it's not the only game in town. Yeah. All right. I mean, the bottom line is, all right, my storyline jumps all over the place. Right. In Pulp
back
Fiction.
And forward.
Yeah, back and forward. Now the thing is, the truth of the matter is, if I had written Pulp Fiction as a novel and I was on your show, you would never even remotely bring up the structure.
Flashbacks or whatever it was.
You would never bring it up, all right? Because it's like, a novel can do that, no problem. Novelists have always had just a complete freedom to pretty much tell their story any way they saw fit, all right? And that's kind of what I'm trying to do. Now the thing is, for both novels and film, 75% of the stories you're going to tell will work better on a dramatic basis, on a dramatically engaging basis, to be told from a linear way. But there is that 25% out there that can be more resonant by telling it this way. And I think in the case of both Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction, it gains a lot more resonance being told in this kind of like wild way.
It's easy for people to put themselves above a movie. But when they don't put themselves above a movie and they keep watching it, it's just keeping you interested enough to keep watching. When all of a sudden you actually click into the movie. When all of a sudden care about the movie, you actually care about what happens, you want to know what happens, and these characters actually mean something to you. When, in this crazy, weird, sleazy little exploitation movie, when did you start caring? And the fact that now you care and now you're invested, that's one of my favorite things that can happen in cinema.
What is it about the best actor?
Well, I'll tell you what I mean from my point, because you almost can't compare artists to athletes because somebody's this is not somebody's that. Having said that, I've never seen an actor so completely consume himself in character, in true character work during the work. All right, and what I mean by that is when Robert is playing Lewis and you're looking at every single solitary piece of footage you've ever shot on the man. All right, every single moment. He is Lewis, he is working moment to moment. He's not thinking about over here, I'm gonna do this and this and this and I'm gonna get to this. Over here doesn't exist. The only thing is right here, what's happening right now. And some acting people suggest something to the effect of like there's a zillion choices out there and any one of them is possible and any one of them is great. I actually don't believe that at all. If you are really in character, you only have a few choices. If something weird were to happen at this table right now, there's not a zillion ways Charlie Rose is going to react. There's probably about 4 ways Charlie Rose will react. Right. All right? And De Niro has that down. Yeah, if you got the passion to do it and you do it and it doesn't like work out. I got 3 years on a 16mm film that ended up becoming nothing but guitar picks, and I was very disappointed when I realized it wasn't any good. But it was my film school, all right, and I actually got away really cheap. When it was all over, I knew how to make a movie. And I didn't want to show anybody that, but I had the experience. I had a lot cheaper than I would have gone if I'd gone to film school.
That's the other, do it in Spanish and subtitle it and they'll think it's an art film. That's the other advice. It worked for me.
One, and I'm not being a jerk by not answering it because it's more of a mood thing than anything. Those guys are the Reservoir Dogs. Whatever the hell that is, that's them. But the reason I don't like give you where it came from, because it did come from somewhere, is because I like people telling me what they think it means, all right? Because people have come up to me and they told me some really wild things. But the thing, as far as I'm concerned, whatever they say, they're correct about, and I like the fact that, like, this creativity keeps coming back and forth. I think that's really good. Like, somebody once said to me, Reservoir Dogs is obviously a comment on Straw Dogs, right? Yeah, it's like, well, and it's obviously means rat. Reservoir Dogs is like a rat. That's obviously that. Somebody said, no, Reservoir. No, I figured it all out. This is what it is. It's res means in reserve. All right. Dogs. Oh no, reservoir, war. All right. The reserve war dogs. The reserve dogs of war. That's what it means, right? There's no reservoir in it, but there is a war going on. All right. They're in reserve. So I love that. And the minute I just say, well, no, actually, what it means is in the 18th century there were these Celtic. The minute I say that, all right, all of their creativity goes to dust. And I want to keep that coming. I like that.
One of the best things that a film director today can do for an actor is not be stuck in Video Village, not be watching it on a monitor, oftentimes in a whole other room. I think you should be sitting right by the camera. If you watch the acting right next to the camera, right in front of the actors, it's as if they are acting just and solely and utterly only for you.